Hey guys, it's Beverly over at Don't Let Them Fool You Too on Instagram, and today I am doing a video on why I spent $260 on the Logic of English Foundation's A curriculum and why I'm going to be returning it. I do want to preface this by saying that this is not a bad curriculum. There is no bad curriculum. It's a matter of what is going to work for you and your child. What is going to match your teaching style and your child's style of learning. And unfortunately, this curriculum doesn't match either. I'm going to do a walkthrough of this curriculum and kind of do a flip through for you so you can see if maybe this might be a curriculum that would work for you. Let's get into it. This curriculum was recommended to me because it is a somewhat hands-on curriculum. That being said, it might be slightly too hands-on, but also it does not match my teaching style or my child's learning style. We're going to get into the teacher style first to kind of explain what I mean by that. So we're going to put the workbook aside and I'm going to zoom in and show you guys this teacher's manual. For kindergarten, we used The Good and the Beautiful, and I really loved that it was very open and go. We have not completely switched from The Good and the Beautiful. We are still using it, but I did want to take this year to kind of explore other curriculums to see if there's one that might match my son's learning style better for language arts specifically. So in Logic of English Foundations A, it's a lot, in my opinion. And when I say it's a lot, it teaches things in a way that even I don't teach. So it talks a lot about phonograms, and honestly, using that word with my first grader, I know he's not going to enjoy it. So lesson 1 here, for instance, is phonemic awareness, and it wants you to develop a awareness of sounds. So it'll ask, like, what is a word? What are some examples of words? What makes words different from each other? Words are made of sounds. There are 45 sounds that combine to make English words. Is 45 a lot of sounds? And it gives you everything that you can say, and I do like that. But my first qualm is that it's a whole separate teacher's manual. That being said, I'm not completely against a separate teacher's manual. If you've ever used The Good and the Beautiful, everything is in there, including what to say. And I do like that format a little bit better. So it goes on here and it's like, one of those sounds is P. Say P. What does your mouth do when you say the sound P? And it goes on with this in quite a few lessons. And it's just something that I know he's not going to enjoy. I don't really know how to explain it to you, but it would not hold his attention. It does give teacher tips and, multi-sensory fun, as well as book lists over here in these little cute, colorful things. And then it wants you to learn lines and handwriting practice. Lesson 2 is more awareness of sounds, and again, the way it's taught, it's just not our learning style. I'm going to zoom in to the page so you can kind of see here. How can you tell if a sound is voiced or unvoiced? Place your hand on your throat and see if it vibrates when you say the sound. I just know that this is not going to fare well with my child, and honestly, as a teacher, I don't really enjoy the way that this is laid out. I don't know exactly how to explain to you why. I just know that we would not succeed, because it has to not only be something that can hold your attention, but also your child's attention. Right here, they're doing blending compound words, and that's just, he can't even read yet, so I just feel like at this point, that's not something that we are quite ready to learn. And I thought that this was the lessons for the younger kids, and maybe he's just really behind, but it's definitely not. It wants you to do air writing, where you call out a stroke So it comes with all kinds of different learning materials, including this book called The Doodling Dragons, or called Doodling Dragons, an ABC Book of Sounds. I do like the book. Again, we've never gone through it, mostly because I just realized this isn't going to be a curriculum that we enjoy. But it is a really nice book. Barking Beagle, Buttered Bread, Blowing Bubbles, Baby's Bed. So it definitely teaches the sounds really well. I have no qualms with the book. But a lot of the writing goes on this big whiteboard that they give you. And we just don't use whiteboards very much yet. It also has readers, which I do appreciate that they have a little note here. You don't, use reader 1 until lesson 26. And so none of the readers are actually used until lesson 26. And reader 10 is lesson 40. So there's only 10 readers. And I really do like the readers. They're really nice. It's just not for us. Some of these other hands-on tools are like learning strokes, and it's a bump. Start at the baseline, bump up to the midline. So it's basically teaching them how to start at the baseline of a line and moving up to the midline of, hold on. This is, I guess, the baseline, moving up. It also has like kind of a little bit of texture so that they can feel it, which is really cool. But again, it's just definitely not for us. This one is a circle. Start at the midline and circle around to the baseline. So it's got these, and it kind of teaches them by touching, and then they can use the whiteboards to learn those. It's just not, I can't keep saying that it's not how you want to, learn. It also has these different rules, like C always softens to S when followed by E, I, or Y. Otherwise, C says, again, we're just not that advanced yet. Also not advanced enough for this. So it has all of these different moving parts. Like I said, there's nothing wrong with the curriculum. It's just not the one for us. I will be completely honest. I did not walk through the entire book. I did not walk through all of the instructions. So I actually have no idea how to use these cards. I don't understand it. They do confuse me, but they also have these cards that it comes with. Now, again, this is the teacher's manual, and it just goes through teaching different strokes, learning how to, write cursive and print, and it's just not for us. Here is the Foundations A manuscript workbook, which, I'll be completely honest, this confused me. There's no instructions inside this book. It all comes from the teacher's manual. But when I compare the teacher's manual lesson 1 to the book, it just confuses me more, I guess. And lesson 1 is already compound words. So lesson 1.1 compound words. Open your workbook to page 1. On your page you have some pictures. Today we'll play a game. I'm thinking of a word made of 2 words that are stuck to some pictures. I will say the 2 words glue or blend the words together. Shout out the answer and circle the right picture. Now I think that's really fun. One of them is rainbow. So he would obviously circle rainbow. Football. Circle football. Sailboat. So they are compound words, and they do match up. But again, it's just not how my brain works. This is lesson 2, an optional handwriting chart. It wants you to use either the whiteboard or this chart over here. they want you to teach what the baseline is, and you know, what does the word baseline remind you of? Baseball, base. The baseline is where all the letters will sit. I want you to point to the top line, point to the midline. So these are really good for people who are just learning how to write. Again, my son, he does know how to write and trace words and stuff like that. We're just really struggling with like reading and stuff. So overall, I just don't think this is one on his level. It's not really teaching things that we're ready to learn, or it's teaching things that we've already learned. One thing I will say though, because these are the team readings, in the workbook they did have in the back, and I didn't think it was worth keeping just for this. In the back of the workbook, it has these readers. So I'll show you reader 1. In the back of the workbook, it has these readers. This is one thing I did like about it. So this is just an example, but you take it all out, and they are perforated pages, so you can rip out every page in this book, which I think is really nice. And there's cup, dog, jug, tag, wig. And then you take the pictures and they can like paste them on there. My son does learn really well with that, but I didn't think the curriculum was worth keeping just for this aspect of it. So I will be either returning or trying to resell it over in a different homeschool group or something for someone who might enjoy it. That's really all I have to say about this. Logic of English does seem really great. It's just, you know, not the best route for us. If you've used this and you enjoy it, let me know in the comments. If you've used it and don't enjoy it, let me know. If you're interested in purchasing this at a discount price for me, also let me know, because I would hate for this to go to waste. I would love for this to go to a family who needs it at a discounted price, but also that believes that this might be a good way for them to learn. And if it matches your teaching style. I don't really have a lot to say about it. There's just too many moving parts. I don't love that it's not as open and go as some curriculums that I've looked into and have purchased. And I will also be doing some flip throughs of those. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you'd like to see more flip throughs of curriculums that I'm trying out, let me know. I can't wait to share them with you, and thanks for being here. Feel free to hit the subscribe button. Every Tuesday, I'm going to call it Teacher Tuesday. We are going to either do a day in the life of my homeschool, a flip through of planners, how I'm planning out my days, how I reverse plan. I do have a video coming up for that. I also have a walkthrough and flip through of Beast Academy that we are also supplementing right now. And I'll do a walkthrough of the first grade Good and the Beautiful curriculum. We have not started that. We did purchase it. And I have a couple of other things that I'd like to share with you guys. So definitely hit that subscribe button if you enjoy content like this, and I will talk to you guys next Tuesday.